Kandi Gonzalez was a 36-year-old woman who disappeared on June 1, 2021. She was last seen very disoriented and running away that day. She ran into the woods and was never seen alive after that.
For 6 months, a Kentucky woman has been missing after she disappeared in a rural area of eastern Kentucky.
Your daughter is here. She says you're her mother.
Kentucky State Police today announced that the remains of Kandi Gonzalez have been found 2 years after she disappeared.
Here is her story. Kandi Green Gonzalez was born on Paintsville, Kentucky in December 1984 to parents Betty Jo and David Dixon. In 2009, Gonzalez graduated from Lexington Healing Arts Academy in Lexington, Kentucky with a therapeutic massage and bodywork certification. In 2011, she graduated from Spencerian College with a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. Kandi had a 6-year-old son from a previous marriage, a son in a family that stayed devastated from the date of her disappearance. Kandi was self-employed as a licensed massage therapist. She lived with her boyfriend, Jack Blackburn, at the time of her disappearance. In the early hours of June 1st, 2021, Kandi and her boyfriend had a discussion at their house, which was located about a mile from Abbott Creek Road in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. Kandi ran away from her house and walked down the street, wearing a pink romper and flip-flops. She went down about a mile away from her home, walking. She reached a yard where she was seen and recorded by neighbors. She appeared to be running away from something or someone.
I got it. Does she know there's a ring? Does she know that there's a ring watching her right now? There's a camera on the doorbell. We can see her. Where did she go? I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to call my mother. Call your mother? I will call your mother for you. Happily. Where's your mom?
Neighbor then proceeded to ask Kandi for her mother's phone number and tried to reach her. In the next audio, we can hear how they are able to reach her mother's voicemail. Unfortunately, they were unable to talk to her.
Listen, I have your daughter. She says she's your daughter in my yard. She's asked me to call you, but she's and Jeff apparently has kicked her out. No, it's not fun. I thought that's what you were saying, Mom. Hey, Mom, it's voicemail, honey. Mommy, it's voicemail. That's why I was trying to just say.
After this encounter, unable to contact her mother, Kandi started running on the property. She was last seen running away from the property into the woods. This was the last time she was ever seen alive.
What is your name? First name. Listen, I have your daughter.
Is that a trail camera?
In my yard. She wanted me to call you.
That's a trail camera. No, it's a trail camera.
I'm calling your mom for you. What the hell? I need you to get out of this yard or come talk to me. One of the two. Don't clown me. You are on our land. I need to understand why. I need you not to mess with their crops.
Here, she's gonna get the creek wood.
Look here.
Hey, watch out, there's snakes down there.
Kandi was last seen at the yard line where the wooded area began. There were various animals in this place, and there is also information that there was a small creek. At this point, there was no additional information on where Kandi went until a further search. However, we can see that the area she ran into is full of trees and wilderness. When the family learned about what happened to Kandi, they immediately started searching for her. They filed a missing persons report the day after her disappearance. However, Kandi's family reported to the news that the police and other help entities were not helpful at the beginning of the investigation. It's heartbreaking that she has been out there now for 8 days, and we are still doing it ourselves. The family is doing it alone, said Kandi's sister to the interview. They were alone searching by themselves. They went into the creek to search for Kandi. They were shocked when they found Kandi's flip-flops near the creek. They searched for hours. However, no additional clues were found. They were heartbroken. They communicated the finding to the police immediately. However, the local authorities only advised them to take the shoes themselves. Kandi's family did not feel this was the correct way to proceed, since this was evidence in the case to be investigated. Local authorities did not collect the shoes until 3 days later, where they stood by the creek all that time. The day they retrieved the evidence, they brought a cadaver dog to search the surrounding area. According to the family, they spent 45 minutes searching and then they left. Kandi's family had found a trail in their searches where they believed Kandi went. They found footprints similar to Kandi's. They followed the path, and the path was following back her house direction. They found that she was able to make it to the street and near to a barn that was across the street from where she lived. At that point, the trace disappeared. Kandi's family also reported that local authorities did a proper search 17 days after her disappearance, where they brought a helicopter, cadaver dogs, and many volunteers joined the search. However, nothing was found. There were no named suspects in Kandi's investigation, although Kandi's family indicated many times on their Facebook page and to local news that Jeff Blackburn, Kandi's boyfriend at the time, did not do much to help them. They said that Jeff had agreed to a polygraph exam to talk about the events that led to Kandi's disappearance. The polygraph exam was scheduled for July 6th. However, they said that Jeff did not show up. They also indicated that when Jeff was asked to reschedule the polygraph exam, he refused because he said that he felt that the family already was thinking the worst of him. So he then asked for an attorney and refused to reschedule. Kandi's mother and family were frustrated that local authorities and Jeff's family were not doing enough to assist on the search. They felt that all efforts were made by them and other help entities that the family got in touch with to conduct more searches. Also, it was later made public that Jeff's county sheriff's name was Jack Blackburn, who happened to be Jeff's father. Jeff did not have any criminal record. However, in 2013, he was arrested for public intoxication. This was days before his father, Jack, was also detained for drunk driving. The family had indicated over time that Jeff did not want to intervene because he was afraid that Kandi's cousins would try to harm him. During the months after her disappearance, there have been many speculations. Kandi's family has indicated many times that Jeff's family has not helped at all in the investigation. And one of Kandi's family members was even very vocal, indicating that if Jeff was not guilty, he would at least try to do something to search for her, and that he had the attitude of someone that was hiding something. The case was treated as a missing person during the years of the searches, but despite all efforts, nothing was found. On December 2021, Kentucky State Police conducted another search in the area. This time they searched every location for possible suspects. They even got a warrant to search Jack Blackburn's house, but once again, nothing was found. There were many speculations made by the family about Jeff's guilt, and that he may have received favors from his father, who was the county sheriff, to help him. The family even found some text messages from a friend of Kandi's that suggested possible abuse by Jeff. However, none of this has been proven to be true. Finally, on April 7, 2022, during a search, Kandi's mother's niece stepped on what looked to be a human bone. She kept digging, and they found teeth and an arm. She was shocked. They immediately reported the finding and had the DNA test started on the remains. The worst news came back. Unfortunately, these were the remains of Kandi Green Gonzalez. After 2 years of non-stop searches, they were finally found. Kandi's mother was in shock as the remains were found in an area they had searched many times before. She also shared some inconsistencies from local authorities in a Facebook post about the finding. She pointed out that authorities indicated that loggers found a skull before, but it had not been reported to anyone. When Kandi's family got a hold of the arm and the teeth, they informed about the finding, and they came back just to find the rest of the body. Also, the family pointed out how the remains were found in an area far from the place where she was last seen, in addition to being an area that they searched day after day. They were finally able to provide a proper burial for Kandi's remains. However, there were more questions than answers. What really happened to Kandi? Why did no one see her after if she supposedly came back on her own tracks? Why were there no named suspects or any suspicious activity indicating foul play? Why did local authorities refuse to help from day one? And why was Jeff's family so adamant about helping? Even when Kandi was finally found, her family will not rest until they find what happened to Kandi, and they will keep searching. If you liked this video, subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.